What's going on YouTube? Um, so far today I've already done a introductory profile on who I am and what I'm going to be doing. And then I've already done a pack opening of the Shining Victories pack. But now I'm going to go into my deck profiles that I currently own and what's on the way. So the last 2 weeks I've been just testing my old deck that I used to play in 2014, 2015. But I'm going to show you what I used and what how I went about it and what my standings were this weekend. So without further ado, let's go into it. The deck today we're going to be profiling is Zings. This is a pure Zing build. There's no yeah, it's just pure Zings, okay? So let's get into it. So I use triple. That ain't good. Okay, so I use triple of the Chaiwin, which is your level 1 tuner. I'm just hoping you can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay. So triple Chaiwin. He's your level 1 tuner. He's revivable from the grave. And he's a target for a lot of different things. This is the only guy that I run. This is the only tuner I run 3 at right now. But maybe. So that's 3 Chaiwin. Then I run triple Suwani. He is your beater of the deck. Not beater. He's the beater of the deck. He's like one of the highest attacks you have. When he's used for a synchro summon, though, he gets the synchro summon monster 500 extra attack, so a little bit more booty on that the funnel there. And then I use triple Bixie to get over traps. So make sure synchro monster immune to traps. Plus he's got a butt, so you can put him in defense and they can attack into it. But I've been thinking about cutting this to 2 lately. There's not a lot of traps, but then I need to get over my own traps sometimes, so that's why I run 3. Plus, it's more pitch fodder and whatever else to use for, so that's why I run 3 of them. I run double Giotto. I would run 3 if I had a third, but right now I think 2 is not that bad, considering that his effect, you activate his effect, discard 2 as a cost, and he special summons 2 from the deck. But if he's negated when he does that, I just lost 2 cards, so it's a -2. And he's always revivable, so I don't really like to go into his effect unless I go first, and I know that I know they don't run effect failures or whatever else, so that's why I run him only at 2. But I would run him at 3 if I had a third, but I will have in the mail pretty soon. So let's see, I run double Bayan. It makes your synchro monster immune to battle. He's a 1600, so he's kind of up there with Suwani. He's just not as good as Suwani, so I figured that. Plus, he allows me to go in my Synchro 6 plays. And then I run 1 Paleo. I actually want to move this up to 2, just because spells are more adamant right now than traps. So that's really why he makes your Synchro monster immune to spells. So yeah, that's why I use him. And then I run 1 Teoti. He's like a quick Synchro 9 for me if I really want to go into a Trishula or Xiaofeng really fast. But it just really depends. I usually side him out a lot because he can be cloggy in the hand unless you use Jiaoto's effect to pitch him or a Twin Twister, but I don't have a Twin Twister yet either, so he's just kind of cloggy sometimes. That's why I only run him at 1. Then for the Pendulum monsters, I run 2 Secret and 1 Treasure. Secret, when he's destroyed or special summoned by Pendulum, he searches a spell or trap Zing card. And then this guy, when he's summoned, he makes a non-tune. If there's another Zing on the field, I can make that Zing a tuner. So remember the reason I said I can go into my 6s with Bayan is because he summons, make Bayan a tuner. That's a level 6. So, and I'll show you the play that I really love going into. But I only run these. I used to run him at 2, but he just seemed a little bit, dumb to run at 2 because when he's sent from the field to the grave, he goes to the bottom of the deck instead. So he's just constantly recyclable. It's not that big of a deal. But this guy, I want to run him at 3, but he's just too cloggy in the hand. Plus, it's once I go into my big plays, if I don't win, there's no point in going on anymore. That's all for the Zings. I run triple max C because of the special summoning at my locals. Everyone runs pretty much Cosmo, Pendulums, whatever. So I think triple max C in this deck is like pretty much mandatory because a lot of my guys actually take the maxi challenge. So I'm just like, drop, doot, 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 doot. Thanks for the 14 cards. Now I'm going to OTK you. So that's pretty much why I love, this will win you games. Then I run double effect failure. Effect failure, they don't really see this thing coming anymore, but right now, since monarchs are big, Cosmo, you can do this to them, like Cosmo Dark Lady and stuff like that. They activate their effect, pay 1,000 effect failure, so it helps. That's it for the monster lineup. I'm thinking there's 24. They're kind of a big monster build, but it's worth it because I recycle a lot. So then I run triple path. I used to run it at 2, but I just find myself going through my resources so fast that it's just easier to run 3. Plus, this is a pitch card for Jiaotou. Jiaotou, the Dark Tuner, I can pitch any Yang Zing card. So if I'm not needing this, I can just pitch it. It's no big deal. Then I run double Dark Hole because you want to destroy your stuff in this deck because you constantly get your special summons, and if there's something you need to maneuver over, you destroy your stuff to get over it so you can get to that piece that'll help you be unaffected. So yeah. And then I run double MST. I would actually take both of these out for one Twin Twister. No lie. I want to run. I would rather run one Twin Twister than double MST in my opinion. But I would probably put these in the side just in case. I just don't really see a need. It's not a big back row. It's not a big back row format, so whatever. Then I run Soul Charge. You gotta run Soul Charge in this deck. It's an instant pretty much win, especially if you have all the attributes in the gravy and just go into an instant chop back. So, and then for my one tech that everyone is surprised when I drop it down is one creature swap. So if you look at 80% of my monsters, like Effect Veiler, Max C, Secret if I ever get him out into attack mode, Paleo, Jiaotou, Bixie, and then Chiwin, they all have like low attack, either low attack points or no attack points. So if I'm just close to game and I know I can't really do a whole lot against you, or there's no point in really trying to make a big play because you have like vanities or something on the board or something to do with that picture, I'm just going to summon something and creature swap you because it doesn't target. So I've actually jacked a Cosmo Dark Lady from a Cosmo player because it was either that or the Dark Destroyer. And he really wanted to keep his Dark Destroyer. So, but the thing is, his Dark Destroyer was summoned by a Call of the Haunted. So all I did with the MST was pop his Call of the Haunted, destroyed his thing. He tried to chain Destroyer's effect to banish his special summon. I chained Iron Wall instead. And then he tried to Oasis to bring him back just in time. And then use his effect, use Dark Destroyer's effect to pop Dark Lady, which I used Dark Lady's effect to negate it, destroy him again, went back to the grave, couldn't activate his effect, blah, 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 and I ended up, it was in the middle of my battle phase when he did that, so I was just like, poke for game after that. He was so salty. That's how I beat that guy, that Locals I was talking about in, I think, the last video. Anyway, so for traps, spells, I think I only run 8 or 9, I can't remember. But for traps, I run a pretty heavy lineup just because it's a floodgate deck. You can easily work around your floodgates. So anyway, I run triple creation. There's no reason why you shouldn't in this deck. It just gets you more pluses. Plus, it's more pitch for a Jiaotou if you really need to. I really wouldn't with this card, but if I have no other choice, I will. I run a Vanities, but I will probably take this out. I just don't know for what yet. So I just, yeah. Anything that goes to my grave, this pops itself as chain link too, so this would pretty much, I mean, I can't summon if this is on the field, even on my side, so it's no point in me playing this, really. I'll probably side this for heavy decks, but I just really want to take it out. It's just there for right now. Bottomless, I have a bottomless just for pendulum decks, really, except for Magic Specters, really, but you can't really target those anyway, so what's the point? I usually side this out a lot, but it's just good for right now. I'll put something else in later, but it's a one of, so why not? Torrential, just like Dark Hole, you want to destroy your stuff. Solemn Warning, obviously, pendulums, anything I want to get rid of to stop a summon. So everyone, this is kind of a mandatory thing. And then Skill Drain. Skill Drain, it's easily workaroundable. This is the one floodgate that sometimes I have an issue getting over, but that's why I run triple Bixie, so it helps me get over those. The bottomless vanities will probably be replaced by solemn strikes. They're just really expensive right now, so I don't really want to I don't want to have to pay for them yet. So, but if I find some, I will definitely put them in. I'm actually going to do the side deck first instead of my extra deck. So the side deck is not completely finished, but it's, there's 15 cards in here, so I figured I'd show you guys. So I run double Majesty's Fiend for pretty much Cosmos and um, Monarchs. So this will help me get over it because I don't have 3 Mask of Restriction. I have 1, I have 2 in the mail. So once those get here, these won't really get replaced just because of the Cosmo matchup, but it's still good to have. Yeah, so I run double Fairy Wind. This will probably get taken out as well. I just haven't decided what yet. Um, Actually, I'm thinking of this new card that I pulled in the Shining Victories. It is called Unwavering Bonds. It's actually a pretty cool card. I'm actually thinking about trying to find a second one and citing it in. Its effect is that when your opponent activates a Pendulum Monster's effect or an effect of a card in the Pendulum Zone, negate the activation and just banish it. So at my locals, I have a big problem with Magispector Kieran. Kieran is a big problem with my deck because all they do is just they don't destroy it, they just bounce it back, bounce it back, bounce it back. So this would actually really help me. I would run it at probably 2 or 3, depending on how much I see more Kieran of it, but 2, 3 people at my locals use Kieran. So this would probably go in, and especially if I can find a second or third one, that'd be great. But anyway, let's get back to this. I run double Mistakes because my deck doesn't really search that often. So my deck, the only 2 cards that search in my entire deck is the Secret, the level 6 Pendulum. That's it. And I figured this is probably better to use since Pendulums search a whole lot. Cosmo doesn't really search really at all, except for with Cosmo Town. I wouldn't side this in versus Cosmo though. It just stops the search decks, so that's why I use that. Then I run double Skill Prisoner for those targeting decks. This pretty much targets any card on the field that I want it to. It's kind of like a breakthrough skill. So you can do it during either player's turn, banish it, stop a targeting from happening, negate it, pretty much. So it's just basically an effect value from Graven, breakthrough skill, whatever. Then for my 3-ofs, I run triple Iron Wall. I traded off my other ulti just because it's a card's a card, but this is strictly for Cosmo, for Monarchs, for anything that banishes. I don't care. So it's just, this really helps me out versus that matchup. And then temporarily I run triple Lightning Prisoning Mirror. I have never actually sided this in versus Cosmo. We also have a couple Blue Eyes players and Satellar Knights and Cyber Dragon players at my locals. We have a lot of light at my locals. So I'm like, if I really needed to pull this out, I would. The only thing this hurts in my entire deck is Chaiwin. That's it. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's it for the side deck. Let me know if you would make any changes. But let's go into the extra deck real fast. So we're going to start from the big boys, the little boys going down. So first, I'll show a Herald. I used to run 2, but I really like it at 1 just because I don't really go into them that often unless I'm going into a graveyard-based deck, really. So one Herald is pretty good. One Armades, really good against like a mirror match or anything that I attack into and they like to respond by something. So this is really good. Cosmo, I attack, they can't banish, so this works. We're on a horse. This is my only level 6 right now. Actually, no, it's not. I lied, guys. This is this is Horus, one of my level 6s. He's the play that I showed you that I went through buy-in and the treasure. And then since he uses a pendulum monster, it's basically a creature swap. So this is my second creature swap if I absolutely need it. So yeah, that's that 6. And then I run a Nothing as my other. This is actually just for burn, pretty much. This is my cowboy of the deck. He will get replaced, but I just haven't really decided on really what yet. So he's just there for pretty much the last minute burn, and he's pretty good at getting over those big beef sticks that can be targeted. For my 7s, I run double Yazi, but one is going to come out Again, I haven't decided for what. So, but it's most likely I'm gonna probably go down to right now I run 5 level 7s synchros, which I'm probably gonna go down to 4, but just because I don't go into 7s that often. But this will probably just get taken out, and I'll put more 8s in. But that's after I get into the Johto, of course. So 2 Yazzies, 1 Odd Eyes. I've actually never actually had to go into this guy yet. I've never used him. I might replace him. Haven't decided yet, but just in case. On rare occasions, actually, this past locals, um, I actually pendulum summoned 3 times out of 4 games, 4 matches. I'm sorry. So, because like I said, they took the Maxi challenge, and I pulled into both of these guys in my hand, and I had a bunch of Yang Zings in my hand. So I was just like, sets pendulum scale. And they were just like looking at me like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" so, so if I ever actually do that, and I find that they maybe pop a guy, or if I just need to special summon or search something, I can summon this guy. And plus, his second effect is really good. It's basically an Armades, so he's a bigger Armades in my opinion. And then I run 1 Clear Wing. You got to run Clear Wing. It protects your high level monsters. Plus, I can make them at 3,000 and immune to stuff, so why not? And then I run 1 Black Rose. Black Rose, I actually use a lot in this deck. Like, I usually let my opponent go first, and for some reason at my locals, they like to go through the resources really, really fast. 2 Ignite players, for example, they go through everything and leave themselves with 1 card, put everything on the field. Black Rose. And I use Bixie, so they can't. The only thing they can do is Solemn Warning me. That's it. If they don't have Solemn Warning, they're fucked. So, and I just screwed their whole play. So those are my level 7s. My level 8s, I only have 4 of them, which is why I'm going to probably bump it up a lot. I use Void Ogre. He is probably going to come out for Scarlight, most likely, because I prefer Scarlight, and I always find myself with a hand with the triple maxi, so I don't see this guy being viable anymore. Then I run triple box. I am definitely cutting this down to 2. This will probably be a clear wing, crystal wing synchron dragon, so that just that extra protection. Plus, it's easier. And I've never really gone into 3 of these guys. Maybe like once, but not really. So I don't see a point. But that's why I will cut those down to 1. This is the main synchro of the deck. So that second Yazi I was talking about, I'm pretty sure I'm going to replace it with a Hot Red Dragon, because Hot Red Dragon destroys my monsters too, and I can get more destruction off of it. So for my 9s and last 2, I run 1 Xiao Fang. He's a walking skill drain depending on what attributes I use. Searches tuners, and he's just really, really good. A lot of times, since a lot of people use lights, and I'd rather use this guy than Light and Imprisoning Mirror because he still gets his effects and stuff. So I really love this guy. This is a win condition of my deck. So and then the last 9, surprise, surprise, Trishula. Why not? Take away their hand, take away their grave, take away their field. So why not? They -3. I don't neg any. Plus he gets all those extra. So that's my deck, everybody. That's the Yang Zing's Pure that I used this past weekend. Like I said, I was gonna make a couple modifications. I just haven't done it yet. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you have any whatever ideas. Let me know. All right, you guys have a good one.